Hello everyone, Habibi here. Welcome back to my channel. In this video I'm going to show you how to pick a texture from your 3D model. In this case I have this 3D object of Kaaba. Here is the FX file and I have some textures here. Let me import it to my 3ds Max. Here we go. We have this 3D model here, and this 3D model has so many texture files. 1 2 3 4 5. It has 14 texture files. So I want to merge all of those files into one single texture file. So that's why we have to pick the texture and also the lighting maybe. So to do so we have to create all of this. We have to make them a single object. Right now we have so many objects here, so because I want to merge everything into one single object and one single texture file, I have to attach any of these objects into one single object. So let me select this one. Let me name it low poly Kaaba. Then I go here, click attach, then click all of those objects one by one, I think. Yeah, I will pause the screen recording and I will continue it later. Just attach everything in to make them single object. I will pause the recording. Okay guys, I'm done. Now we have one single 3D object here, and this single 3D object still has so many texture files here, and we don't want it. We want one single texture file and also the lighting and shadow parameters with it picked into one single texture file. So the next step, after merging all the objects into one single object, I will add a lighting object here. Let me add this standard and skylight object here. I want to preview render the preview image here. So plain and has no shading, and yeah, it is so plain. Let me go to the render setting. I change the renderer to light tracer and increase the bounces to, for example, and yeah, let me click render button. Looks better. It has some shading here on the corners, something like ambient occlusion. Okay, now I have the lighting. Set up. The next thing is to render the texture, the baked texture file. We go to the rendering menu, click this render to texture menu, and here we are going to we need to click this button, add. We click this one, complete map, add elements, then file name and type. Let me just save it here, and the resolution, let me set it to 2048. Then click the render button. No, let me change the spacing here to be more narrower, 0.002. okay, click render. Okay, we will wait until the render progress is finished. I will pause the video. Yeah, well, we're almost there. Okay, I think the rendering process is done. No, almost there. Okay, we are done now. Close the render result, and now the important part. Close this one. The important part is we need to save the UVW layout that we have here. Click this button and we will see this UVW layout. We need to save it. With this name, locally Kaaba, with this format. Save it, then make sure it is correctly saved. We need to load it again here. It is already loaded and it is saved correctly, so close it, and we need to convert this object into the editable poly. If we go to the folder here, the folder with this 3D object, original 3D object, we will have this targa file, which is the texture file of the 3D model that we have picked recently. We drag and drop it to the 3D object here. Now it is applied to the 3D model, but as you can see, the UV information here is incorrect. We need to load the UV file that we have saved earlier to the 3D model. So we need to add UVW, unwrap UVW modifier, go to open UV editor, then we need to load the UV file. Here is the UV file, click open. Now the texture is loaded correctly. We need to convert it again to the editable poly. Now we have this nice 3D model and even without lighting, and even with the original simple scanline renderer, we will see the lighting effect. I mean the shadow, soft shadow, and the ambient occlusion, something like. And the render speed is also increased. Okay guys, thank you for watching, and that's all how to pick the render texture. How to pick the textures into one single texture file in 3ds Max. Thank you, bye bye, see you next time.